Hello everyone. As I have already discussed about the modes of execution. So my today's topic will be on Python's keyword. Okay. So what are keywords? Keywords are those reserved word which has some special meaning to the Python program, Python interpreter. So keywords means they are some special they are some words that has some special meaning to the Python interpreter. Then we have some keywords here. So as Python programming is a case sensitive language, case sensitive programming language, so we have to use exactly as we have as it is here. So in false statement, in the false keyword, we are using F as capital letter. So as a keyword, if I am going to use this false keyword in our program, then I cannot start with small f, but instead we have to start with capital F only. So for class starts with small letter C, so this cannot be represented by capital C, so we need to start with small c only. Then for none, if we have replaced none with small n o n e, then it cannot be a keyword. So we need to use all the letter, all the keyword as written as it is written over here. So we have to write same as it is. Okay, we cannot change the cases or upper cases to lower case to uppercase. ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ Python keyword ꯀꯩꯅꯣ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯒꯗꯤ reserved words ꯅꯦꯕ that has some special meaning. Pythonꯒꯤ interpreterꯗ ꯃꯥꯒꯤ ꯇꯣꯉꯥꯟꯕ meaning ꯑꯃꯃꯝ ꯂꯩꯖꯕ keywords ꯅꯦꯕ ꯃꯣꯏꯁꯤꯡꯁꯦ meaning ꯑꯃꯃꯝ ꯂꯣꯏꯅ define ꯇꯧꯔꯒ ꯂꯩꯈ꯭ꯔꯕꯅꯦꯕ ꯃꯣꯏꯁꯤꯡꯁꯦ. ꯃꯣꯏꯒꯤ meaningꯁꯦ falseꯒꯤ meaningꯅ ꯀꯔꯤꯅꯣ, noneꯒꯤ meaningꯅ ꯀꯔꯤꯅꯣ ꯍꯥꯏꯁꯦ they all the meaning of each keyword are already defined to the interpreter. So Python से case sensitive language ओइबनिना अदुगा Python से case sensitive language ओइ अदुना अखोइना सिदा से F से small capital letter ना इरे ना खलसी अदु अखोइ small letter ना अमुक replace तौबे यादेबा से C से सिदा small letter ना इरे C small letter C से we cannot replace small letter C with capital C. So we need to take care about this about these cases. So we have these keywords, and one thing, we cannot use these keywords. We cannot use this keyword for naming any variable or for naming any function, as they have some special meaning. So we cannot use this type of keyword for naming a variable or a function. Next, we have identifiers. So what are identifiers? Identifiers are the name used to identify a variable, a function, or an entities in a program. So what is the use of this identifier? It is from the name itself we can suggest that identifier means something that can identify. Okay, so identifier identify variables, functions, and other entities in a program. So if you want to give a name of the variable, then that variable will become the identifier. If you want to name a function, then that function name will comes under this identifier. So we have some rule for naming an identifier in the program. First one, let's see the first one. The name of the identifier should begin with uppercase or lowercase alphabet or underscore. So while naming a variable or a function, we can start either with uppercase letter, lowercase letter, or underscore. Okay, so if you want to suppose if you want to name a variable as marks, okay, marks, then you can either start with capital M, you can start with small m, or even you can start with the underscore sign. Okay, first character. Then second, in this second step, says that if you have already started naming with capital M or small m or underscore, then you can continue with any of the combination of small letter A to Z, uppercase A to Z, or 0 to 9 or underscore. That means you can write, you can continue with capital A, or you can also continue with any digit or any number from 0 to 9. For example, MA7, you can also name like this. Okay, this one is also allowed, or even you can also add underscore over here. Then in this also can be continued with, if we have already started with small m, then we can start with either capital letter A, or we can also include any digit, that is 5 or any digit, any number, or underscore you can add, or even you can also add small letter again, small letter again. Then in another case we have, if you have already started with underscore, then you can also continue with number also, that is 3, 4, 5, or A, anything. So these are the naming rules. Second condition completed. Then after that, what is the third condition? An identifier cannot start with a digit. This whole thing you can start either with capital M, small m, underscore. Okay, but you cannot start naming a variable with as number. Okay, number or digit. So 3m, this is invalid. Okay, this is invalid. Or either if you start with number and you continue with capital, this one is also invalid. So these are the rules for the identifier. Then next we have, it can be of any length. There is no limit in the length of the identifier. Then it should not use any special symbol like this. These special symbols cannot be used as an identifier also. Okay, so we have some rules. First one, we can start either with capital letter or small letter or an underscore sign, but in between you can add anything, other than these symbols. Okay, then an identifier cannot start with a digit. We cannot start an identifier with a digit or a number, and it can be of any length. There is no limit in the length or size, or it should not, next condition is, it should not be a keyword. Okay, an identifier, name of the identifier should never be a keyword. Okay, and also we cannot use all these symbols. We cannot use all the symbol for naming an identifier. So let's just take an example. Let's try to name here. If I want to name marks as capital M-A-R-K, marks 1 is equal to 4. This particular line is showing no error. That means this is a valid naming. This is a valid variable, or this is a valid identifier. But if we start with a number, I just started with a number and continued it with this one. See, it is showing syntax error, that is invalid syntax. Okay, it is showing in invalid sentence. But if you start with naming with underscore A, B, See, this is showing no error. But also if you start, see, this is also showing no error. We can start with small letter and can continue with capital M. Okay, we continue with capital letters also. But see one thing, you have started with capital M and you inserted a symbol N is equal to 6. See, this is showing an error. Okay, this is showing an error here. So we cannot use any symbols for naming a variable. Or let's try to use the keyword. See, this is also showing error because this keyword cannot be named as a variable name. Okay, so in the next slide we have variable. So variable is an identifier whose value can be changed. For example, let's take a variable a equal to 5. So what does it mean? This a define the variable while this 5 is a constant value. So this particular line, that is a is equal to 5, means that the value 5 is assigned to a. Okay, 5 value is assigned to a. So if you add a with 2, okay, now a becomes 7. Why? Because a has already assigned with 5 value, so we have to add 2 to a. That's why we have to add 5 to a, then a becomes 7. So like this the value of a keeps on changing. Okay, the value of a keeps on changing. First it was 5, but after adding 2 it becomes 7. Okay, that's why a is variable that can change. Then second condition, variable name should be unique in a program. So value of a variable can either be a string, number, or any combination of alphanumeric. 5. B is equal to 6. Then C is equal to C. A is assigned with 5 value, B is assigned with 6 value, and C is assigned with addition of A plus B. And we have to print C. Then the result come out to be addition of A and B, that is 11. 5 plus 6, that is 11. So if you want to print the value of A, result come out to be 5. Let's make a program for finding the area of rectangle. So formula for finding the area is length into breadth. So first let's find let us make it as length, length. Length is equal to, assign any value, that is 10. Then breadth is equal to 12. Then area equal to see, now the result comes out to be 120. So like this you can make the program for finding the average of three number, or for finding the perimeter of